Before humans walked the earth, a god carried a weapon so powerful, one end killed armies and the other raised the dead. And one day, something older than creation came to kill him. Welcome to Echoes of Time, where forgotten legends, ancient battles, and untold mysteries rise again. If you can hear the past calling, you're in the right place. Dagda, the great father of the Tuatha Dé Danann, strode across the waking edge of Ireland long before the first mortal tribe carved its mark upon the earth. The dawn that rose behind him came slowly, as though even the sun remembered his power and hesitated to interrupt his passage. His massive frame, draped in a cloak of fur blackened by age and storm, moved with the weight of a god who carried both life and death in his hands. His beard, tangled with the dust of countless battles, fell to his chest like a river of gray fire. In one hand he held his vast club, a weapon so mighty that one end could strike down armies while the other could restore the dead. And in the other he carried the hungerless cauldron, a gift of the gods that fed all who approached it. Though many feared Dagda for his size and ferocity, the wise knew him as the protector of hearth and tribe, the keeper of sacred plenty, the father whose laughter made crops flourish and whose wrath could turn green fields to barren stone. On this morning, however, there was no laughter in him. Storm clouds swirled behind his heels, pulled by the force of his brewing anger. His steps fell like thunder across the stones as he approached the hill of Tara, seat of divine kingship. For days, rumors had reached him that a shadow had spread across the land, a corruption rising from the pits beneath the world, poisoning cattle, twisting trees, and whispering to the dreams of mortals. Dagda felt the disturbance in the marrow of his bones, an old wound reopening. When he reached the sacred hill, Brigg, the flame-haired goddess of inspiration and daughter of the Tuatha Dé Danann, awaited him. Her eyes flickered with worry. "Father of all," she said, "the Fomorines stir again. Something has woken beneath the sea fissures. Morrigan has sent omens of red rivers and shattered crowns." Dagda gripped his club more tightly. The Fomorines, ancient foes of the Tuatha, were creatures of chaos and shadow, misshapen beings who thrived on destruction. "Which of them rises?" he asked. Brigg hesitated before answering. "Not a name known to us. A new power, older than Balor's reign, older than the first clash of our peoples. Morrigan says it is a hunger given form. She calls it the maw without end." Dagda felt a coldness settle behind his ribs. "Show me the omens." Brigg lifted her hand, and a swirl of ghostly images shimmered in the air. Fields rotting in moments, warriors turning to ash mid-battle, a great monstrous shape with jaws wide enough to swallow a hill. Dagda watched in silence, then nodded. "Gather the children of Danu. Prepare for war." But war alone would not be enough. He knew the land itself was threatened, and the land answered to him. He was the god of earth's bones, of harvests, of strength and salvation. He set off northward, toward the poisoned lands, where even immortals hesitated to walk. As he traveled, he felt the air thicken with corruption. Animals fled from him, not out of fear, but because something deeper called them away, something unnatural pulling at their instincts. At last he reached a valley that should have been lush with life. Instead, it was a graveyard of blackened trees, their branches twisted like claws. In the center lay a fissure, a wound in the earth itself, leaking a foul mist. Dagda knelt beside it and placed his hand on the ground. The soil trembled beneath his touch. The valley whispered to him, "It hungers, it listens, it rises." A voice spoke from the mist, "Great Father." Dagda stood, raising his club. A woman emerged, tall, dark-haired, eyes like raven wings, Morrigan. "You should not walk here, Dagda," she said, though her tone carried no rebuke. "This land is dying, and death sings loudly within it." "Then I will answer with life," Dagda replied. Morrigan's expression tightened. "No, not this time. This hunger devours life as quickly as death. It is beyond balance." She lifted a skeletal branch from the ground. It crumbled to dust between her fingers. "I have seen its future. If it wakes fully, even gods will flee before it." "I have fled from nothing," Dagda said, "and I will not start now." Morrigan stepped closer, lowering her voice. "Then you must understand what you face. This is not merely a beast. It is the ancient thirst of the void that existed before the first spark of creation. The Fomorians did not summon it. They discovered it and tried to bind it. But it has no master. It has no reason. It is pure devouring." Dagda felt fury rise in him, but also a deep solemnity. "Then I will bind it myself." Morrigan's eyes flashed with both admiration and fear. "You may succeed, or you may be swallowed forever." Dagda answered with a grim smile. "Then let it try." He stepped into the mist. The world twisted around him. The ground softened, then hardened, then dissolved into a realm of shifting shapes. Sounds warped, turning into echoes of pain, whispers of long-dead gods, cries of dying worlds. But Dagda pushed forward. The void creature sensed him. A tremor shook the darkness. A great shape uncoiled, its form too vast to be fully seen, its mouth a ring of endless teeth. "Life-bearer," it growled, though it had no voice. "Feed me." Dagda slammed the butt of his club into the ground, stabilizing reality itself. "I do not feed monsters." The creature surged forward. Dagda swung his club, the death end first. The force of the strike cracked the darkness, sending shockwaves through the void. But the creature swallowed the shockwaves, absorbing them. Then it lunged. Dagda barely dodged, though the motion made storms erupt across the boundary of worlds. He swung again, this time, the life end of the club glowing with vibrant energy. The beam struck the creature's flesh, making it recoil for the first time. "Life burns me," it roared. Dagda grinned savagely. "Good to know." He poured more essence into the weapon, channeling the raw pulse of creation. Trees sprouted from the void floor, only to be devoured instantly, but each sprout seared the creature's hide. "You cannot fill me," it shrieked. "All that lives I consume." Dagda stepped forward, eyes blazing. "Then choke on me." With a roar that shook the cosmos, he plunged the life end of his club into the creature's open maw. The monster bit down, but instead of consuming him, it convulsed violently as pure life energy surged into its core. Dagda fed it not death, not weakness, but overwhelming abundance, more than any void-born thing could withstand. Life exploded inside it like a star igniting. The maw without end thrashed, shrieked, and began to collapse inward, unable to contain the force. But as it died, it tried to drag Dagda with it, pulling him into its dissolving center. He held firm, but the force was immense. Morrigan appeared beside him, blood on her lips from her own battle to reach him. She gripped his arm. "Let go of the club." "If I let go," he growled, "it lives." "Then give it something greater," she said. "Give it your will." Dagda understood.
He pushed not just life energy, but his own divine essence into the monster, enough to awaken the deepest roots of creation within the void.
The creature imploded with a howl, leaving only silence. Dagda fell to his knees, drained. The void dissolved, and he returned with Morrigan to the mortal world. The valley breathed again. Grass returned. Birds sang. But Dagda looked older now. His strength dimmed. "You gave too much," Morrigan whispered. "It will return one day." Dagda nodded. "Then I will be here." And he rose slowly, carrying his cauldron, his club, and the unbroken promise that as long as Ireland lived, so too would her father. If you enjoyed Journeys into Forgotten Legends, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Echoes of Time, and ring the bell so you never miss a story from the past.